Chosen one, stop scrolling for a second. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange, sudden itch that comes out of nowhere, the one you can't explain. No insect bite, no irritation. It just appears, demands your attention, and then fades as quickly as it came. What if I told you that wasn't random? What if that itch is your body trying to speak the language of your soul? You see, your body isn't just flesh and bone. It's a spiritual instrument, tuned to frequencies heaven uses to get your attention. And lately, for many chosen ones, that communication has been increasing. These sensations, the warmth, the chills, the tingling, even the sudden itch, are not meaningless. They're messages, they're energy shifts. They're heaven's way of saying, I'm trying to get through to you. Think about it. When you're stressed, your chest tightens. When you're afraid, your stomach turns. When you're overthinking, your head pounds. But what about that gentle, unexplainable itch? What if that's your spirit trying to move energy, trying to release, cleanse, or prepare you for what's coming next? I remember when I first began noticing it. It always came during moments of deep transition, when I was being refined, stretched, or awakened to something I couldn't yet name. It wasn't just my skin reacting, it was my spirit stirring. The more I paid attention, the more I realized that God uses even the smallest sensations to guide, alert, or align us. Chosen ones, your body carries divine intelligence. Every signal, every ache, every vibration is heaven's coded way of communicating. Nothing about you is random, not even your physical sensations. And when you begin to listen, really listen, your body becomes a prophetic map, revealing what your soul already knows, but your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Maybe that itch is happening because your spirit is shifting frequencies. Maybe it's a sign that your environment needs cleansing. Maybe it's a divine nudge that someone's energy, or even a spiritual force, is brushing up against yours. Whatever the reason, it's not meaningless. It's a call to awareness. So, I invite you to stay with me until the end of this message, because once you understand what these itches actually mean, where they appear, when they appear, and why you'll never ignore them again, you'll begin to see that your body isn't working against you. It's working with heaven to keep you in alignment. And if this resonates in your spirit right now, take a moment, drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from, or share your own experiences. Because across the world, other chosen ones are feeling it too. You are not alone in this awakening. Your body is holy. Your sensations are sacred. They're the whispers of heaven through your skin. So let me ask you this. What if that itch you've been feeling isn't irritation, but activation? Stay with me. Let's go deeper. God's chosen ones, what is your body really trying to tell you with that itch? When your energy falls out of harmony, the body becomes the first messenger of that imbalance. Yet, it rarely shouts, it whispers. One of the quietest, yet most insistent ways it does this is through that mysterious itch, the one that appears suddenly, without cause or explanation. It may come in waves, linger in silence, or disappear the moment you acknowledge it. To the unawakened, it is random, but to the chosen, it is revelation. In the spiritual dimension, your body is not just flesh and bone, it is a sacred map, a living scripture written by divine intelligence. Every pulse, every ache, every tingle carries meaning. The itch is no different. It is the subtle language of your energy field trying to get your attention, a gentle nudge from heaven that says, something within you is shifting. Listen. 1 Corinthians 6:19 reminds us, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you? The temple speaks not in words, but in sensations. When you begin to understand that your body mirrors your spiritual reality, the randomness becomes rhythmic, and the discomfort becomes direction. Have you ever wondered why certain parts of your body call your attention more than others? Why does an itch linger on your right hand when you're about to receive something, or on your back when you're carrying unseen burdens? The chosen one doesn't dismiss such signs as coincidence. They pause, observe, and interpret, because every part of your body corresponds to an emotional truth, a spiritual lesson, or a divine alignment waiting to be acknowledged. In ancient esoteric traditions, an itch was never just an itch, it was movement, energy in motion, a vibration breaking through layers of denial, resistance, or transition. Sometimes it means your frequency is rising, that your spiritual sensitivity is awakening. Other times, it signals the need to release something long held inside grief, resentment, or even an unspoken desire. When the itch comes, it asks, what truth am I avoiding? What emotion am I being asked to feel? What message is my spirit trying to deliver through this vessel of skin and soul? The more you ignore it, the louder it becomes. Because the body will always seek balance, and balance begins with awareness. In spiritual growth, discomfort is not punishment, it is preparation. Just as a seed must crack before the sprout emerges, your energy must sometimes stir, itch, and break through the surface before peace can return. Romans 8:11 says, "The spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you. That same spirit animates your cells, restores your tissues, and communicates through sensations too divine to dismiss as mere biology." Let's imagine a simple scene, a young woman named Alina, who once shared her story during a quiet retreat. For months, she had been experiencing persistent itching on her hands and shoulders. Doctors found nothing wrong, but deep inside, she felt something was trying to tell her something. During meditation, she suddenly realized she had been holding back her true calling, clinging to a job that no longer resonated with her soul. When she finally decided to step out in faith, to create the healing art she had long dreamed of, the itching vanished overnight. It wasn't random, it was revelation. The body had been calling her home to her purpose. And that's how it often works for chosen ones. Your body doesn't rebel against you, it reaches for you. When your energy rises and your purpose calls, your vessel trembles to adjust. The itch, the tingle, the pulse, it's all movement of light through matter. Sometimes the discomfort is not a sign of sickness, but of awakening. Have you felt it lately? The strange sensations that come when your spirit is ready for the next level, but your mind still clings to the old. Those moments are sacred. They are spiritual contractions, proof that your higher self is being born. Proverbs 20:27 tells us, "The human spirit is the lamp of the Lord that sheds light on one's inner being." The itch may be the flicker of that lamp, illuminating what you've left in the dark. It invites you to pay attention to what you've neglected, to what's shifting, to what needs release. But contrast this with those who ignore the body's messages. There was once a man, a leader, wealthy and admired, who dismissed every sign of imbalance. When his chest itched persistently, he mocked the idea of energy or emotion. "It's nothing," he said, while burdening his spirit with lies and greed. Over time, his empire crumbled, his health declined, and his heart, once proud, became heavy with unacknowledged truth. He learned too late that the body always tells the truth that the mouth refuses to speak. As Job 33:14, 1:6 declares, "For God does speak now one way, now another, though no one perceives it." In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people, he may whisper in their ears and terrify them with warnings. The whisper doesn't always come as words. Sometimes it comes as an itch beneath your skin, a spark in your nerves, a divine vibration saying, "Pay attention." The chosen ones don't ignore their bodies. They honor them as holy instruments of communication between heaven and earth. When your skin tingles, when your body reacts, pause not in fear, but in curiosity. Ask, where is my spirit moving? What truth wants to be seen? What part of me is healing right now? Because the body doesn't betray, it reveals. And every sign, no matter how small, is a reminder that you are not separate from divine intelligence. You are woven into it. You are not a bystander of your sensations. You are their interpreter, their priest, their listener. The itch, the pulse, the flicker beneath your skin, it's not your enemy. It's heaven speaking through you, urging you toward balance, transformation, and truth. You are chosen not to ignore your body, but to understand it as sacred language, to translate the unseen into awareness, to recognize that even in discomfort there is design. Your body is not malfunctioning, it is awakening. And every whisper beneath your skin is the same truth echoed in Psalm 139:14. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So, the next time that mysterious itch returns, pause before dismissing it. Ask what it's teaching you. Feel what it's revealing. Because it may just be heaven's way of reminding you that you are alive, aligned, and awakening. Small physical manifestations often appear before the mind can name what is stirring within. The body, ever faithful, speaks first. It becomes the whispering messenger of the soul. Every flicker, ache, or itch is not an inconvenience, it's communication. A sacred language between your inner and outer worlds. When something in your spirit drifts out of alignment, your body alerts you gently, like a friend tugging your sleeve and saying, "Pay attention, something inside you is asking to be seen." Sometimes the divine has to bypass your intellect and speak through sensation because the soul has been whispering truths the mind refuses to face. The ache becomes a bridge, the itch a signpost. Each subtle pulse is heaven's way of saying, there is more beneath the surface, listen. Not. If only we learn to listen, to truly decipher these sacred messages, how much more deeply would we understand ourselves? Sometimes, the divine speaks not in dreams or visions, but through the tingling of our own skin. 1 Corinthians 12:27 reminds us, "Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it." Your body is not separate from your spirit, it's the sacred vessel through which divine wisdom travels. Every sensation carries intention, every subtle feeling is an echo from within. The chosen ones are especially sensitive to this language because their vessels were designed for spiritual precision. The divine uses their senses like instruments, fine-tuned, delicate, responsive. Your awareness of these signs is not hypersensitivity, it's holiness in motion. So before you simply scratch and move on, take a breath, pause, ask silently, what is my body trying to tell me right now? What emotion, what truth, what hidden tension is asking for release? The itch may not be irritation, it may be an invitation. A call to look deeper into what your spirit has long been trying to reveal. Sometimes that awareness comes as a soft warmth spreading through the skin, other times as a sharp spark reminding you that a boundary was crossed or a truth ignored. The divine never punishes, it signals. And each signal is a chance to respond with awareness rather than reaction. Because the moment you honor your body as divine communication, you begin to translate heaven's language written in your flesh. Now that you understand that an itch can arise from your energy field, a signal of inner imbalance or awakening, let's take a step further into the mystery. What if each part of your body carries its own sacred code? What if the location of the sensation tells you precisely where your energy or your emotions are asking for attention? Each part of your being has its voice, its rhythm, its story. The body isn't random, it's a living scripture. The skin records what the spirit remembers. The chosen ones live within this awareness, moving through life like translators of light, understanding that discomfort is never arbitrary. Its purpose is disguised as pain, calling you to restore balance between heaven and earth within yourself. The face, for instance, is one of the most expressive landscapes of the human spirit. It's where your inner world finds its voice. Joy, fear, worry, grief, all are painted there in small divine details. The eyes shimmer with truth, the mouth speaks alignment or denial, the forehead bears the marks of unspoken thoughts. When an itch appears on the face, it's rarely random. It's a mirror reflecting what the soul is processing beneath the surface. Proverbs 15:13 says, "A glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed." Your face then becomes a living scripture, revealing where your heart stands. A twitch, a tingle, a subtle warmth across the cheek. These are not irritations, they are invitations from the spirit to become aware of what the heart has been holding too tightly. An itch on the forehead can signal mental exhaustion or spiritual resistance, your mind running ahead of your faith. It's the soul saying, rest your thoughts and return to trust. The chosen ones often experience this when they are over-analyzing divine timing or doubting the unseen. A tingle around the eyes can represent vision, the urge to see something clearly, or perhaps the resistance to face a truth you've been avoiding. When your lips or mouth itch, it may indicate that words are being held back, truths needing to be spoken, boundaries needing to be expressed. Have you ever wondered how much of your body's restlessness is really your truth trying to find its way out? Sometimes, what feels like irritation is simply your spirit begging for honesty. But there's more. Sometimes the itch on your face is a signal that others are projecting energy toward you. The face, being the most open and visible part of your being, often absorbs the energetic intentions of others' admiration, jealousy, or spiritual interference. The chosen ones are sensitive to this. Their faces react because their spirits are perceptive. They are the mirrors of heaven, finely tuned instruments that feel what most overlook. Psalm 34:5 declares, "Those who look to him are radiant, their faces are never covered with shame." When your radiance grows, it draws attention, light and shadow alike. The chosen shines so brightly that the unseen sometimes trembles in response, and that trembling can be felt on the skin as the energy recalibrates. Have you noticed how your skin sometimes reacts during deep prayer, sudden inspiration, or emotional release? That is not coincidence, it's confirmation. It's the body vibrating with revelation, syncing to the frequency of divine alignment. It's as though your soul is saying, "Yes, I hear you." Your sensitivity is not fragility, it's spiritual sensitivity turned sacred. The chosen ones are often called to carry light in dark places, and their bodies, attuned to spiritual movement, respond to each energetic shift as though echoing heaven's pulse. When you start seeing your physical reactions as divine dialogue instead of discomfort, everything changes. A young woman once shared that during a season of deep healing, her cheeks would often tingle and itch whenever she journaled about forgiveness. At first, she dismissed it as sensitivity, but later, she realized each time she released resentment through her writing, her skin seemed to breathe, as though her body was exhaling what her heart had carried too long. That was not irritation, it was liberation. It was her soul cleansing itself through the body's language. Her experience reminds us that healing doesn't always come through silence or stillness. It sometimes comes through sensation. God speaks through wind and fire, but also through tingling skin and the warmth of release. Contrast this with those who live in denial. There was once a man, a speaker admired for his charisma, who wore confidence like armor but carried hidden guilt beneath it. His face often burned and itched during his talks, and he laughed it off, calling it nerves. But those who have eyes to see understood. The spirit was restless. He was speaking light while concealing shadow. Eventually, his secret came to light, and his collapse became public. The body had been whispering warnings long before his truth unraveled. Luke 8:17 reminds us, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." The chosen know this truth well because they've lived it. The body never lies. It always reveals what the soul can no longer carry silently. For the chosen one, the body is not a burden, but a divine instrument of revelation. Every sensation, even discomfort, serves a higher purpose: to bring awareness, to invite transformation, to align you back to truth. The itch is not an enemy of your peace, it's a messenger of your becoming. When you begin to see it this way, your relationship with yourself changes. You stop fearing the signs and start interpreting them. You begin living with a deeper sense of partnership between body and spirit. Romans 8:11 says, The spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you. That same spirit animates your body, speaks through your senses, and guides your awareness toward divine equilibrium. So, when your face tingles or your skin stirs, pause, place your hand over that spot, whisper gratitude for the awareness it brings. Ask your Creator to show you what needs realignment. Feel the subtle shift between reaction and reflection, because when you start listening to the whispers of your body, you stop needing the screams of crisis to redirect you. The small signs become sacred conversations, and the body becomes a living temple through which heaven teaches discernment. The chosen live in this awareness. They do not dismiss the body's cues as random. They know each signal is an encrypted message from the divine blueprint written within them. Romans 12:1 tells us, "Offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." The chosen one lives this truth not just in spirit, but in flesh. To honor the body is to honor the divine message it carries. Your body is not betraying you, it's partnering with you. It speaks in codes, in tingles, in pulses of light beneath your skin. And when you listen, when you align, when you surrender to the sacred language of your own being, you realize something miraculous. Heaven has always been speaking through you. So now, beloved, when the next subtle sensation calls your attention, remember, it's not irritation, it's invitation. The soul speaks and the skin echoes. The question is not, why does it itch? But what is awakening within me right now? Itching on the forehead often signals that the mind is carrying more weight than it was meant to hold. Thoughts race, worries loop, and responsibility begins to blur into exhaustion. The forehead, so close to the third eye, the center of insight and spiritual vision, acts like a barometer for the soul's unrest. When it itches, it's rarely a coincidence. It's the divine whispering, "Your mind is full, but your spirit is starving." You may be striving to solve something that was never meant to be solved by logic, only surrendered in faith. Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." The chosen one knows that the mind was never meant to be a cage for divine mysteries. It was meant to be a window. Sometimes the itch is heaven tapping that window, asking you to open it again. Have you noticed how your forehead tingles most when you're caught between overthinking and trusting? That subtle sensation is your spirit reminding you that clarity doesn't come from control, it comes from surrender. The chosen are thinkers, yes, but they are also feelers. They hold both reason and revelation in balance, and when that balance breaks, the body intervenes. The itch is a sacred interruption, an invitation to breathe, to pray, and to release. If the sensation moves to the cheek area, the message deepens. The cheeks are where emotion lives, where warmth, shame, and vulnerability collide. Itching here may reveal more than surface irritation. It can be the echo of repressed feelings, the body's attempt to surface emotions long buried. Maybe it's embarrassment you never voiced, or sorrow disguised as strength. Sometimes the spirit trembles within us, and the skin mirrors that tremor. Have you ever felt your face flush or itch when confronted by truth, as if the body itself recognizes what the mind denies? That's not coincidence, it's conscience, speaking through skin. The chosen ones feel this, especially when they've been misunderstood or judged unfairly. Their cheeks, symbols of humility and humanity, become the battlefield of restraint. Psalm 34:18 tells us, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." The sensation is not punishment, it's purification. The cheeks remember what the heart tries to forget. Each tingle, each spark beneath the skin is emotion trying to find its voice. The nose, however, carries a different kind of message. In countless ancient traditions, it's considered the channel of breath, the bridge between body and spirit. Itching there can signify heightened intuition, a nudge from heaven to pay attention. Something is shifting, someone is thinking of you, or energy unseen is drawing near. The chosen understand this feeling. Well, it's that electric awareness, right before revelation, when the unseen brushes against the physical. Sometimes the message is simple: stay alert. You're about to perceive what others overlook. Job 33:14-16 declares, "For God speaks in one way and in two, though man does not perceive it. Then he opens the ears of men and terrifies them with warnings." What if the itch is not irritation but awakening, a reminder that your spiritual senses are sharper than you think? There are also deeper meanings woven here. In Hebrew thought, the breath of life, ruach, is the divine spirit itself. When your nose itches, it can symbolize that divine breath moving closer, adjusting your awareness so you can detect what's approaching. It's a sacred recalibration of your intuition. But there's a question that often arises in this moment. Are you willing to trust what your spirit already knows, even when your eyes can't yet see? Now we move to the jaw and chin, the gatekeepers of suppressed emotion. When this part of the face tightens, tingles, or itches, it often reveals anger, frustration, or words swallowed in silence. The chosen carry great empathy, but they also carry restraint. Many times they have chosen peace over confrontation, and their bodies have become the silent keepers of unsaid truth. The chin, symbol of willpower and self-expression, reacts when you hold too much inside. It's as if the body is saying, "Speak before your spirit grows weary." Imagine the jaw as the dam that holds back the river of emotion. Each time you suppress your truth for the sake of keeping peace, the pressure builds. The itch is not chaos, it's containment cracking. Ephesians 4:26 reminds us, "In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry." Suppression breeds stagnation. Honesty restores flow. The chosen must learn that silence is sacred, but repression is not holiness. The difference lies in intention. One guards peace, the other hides pain. Have you noticed that the itch grows stronger when you bite your tongue too often, or when you replay the words you wish you'd said? That's the body's way of asking, will you let the truth breathe again? For a chosen one, integrity isn't just spoken, it's lived, even in the smallest corners of emotion. The chin's subtle itch, the jaw's restless tremor, these are reminders that peace can't coexist with pretense. Every inch of the face becomes a map of divine communication. The forehead speaks of thought, the cheeks of emotion, the nose of intuition, the chin of truth. Each area mirrors a layer of your soul's conversation with heaven. The chosen understand that the physical and the spiritual are not separate, they are sacredly intertwined. To ignore the signs is to silence the language of the divine, written in your very skin. But to listen, to pause, to interpret, to honor, this is to walk as one who not only hears God through prayer, but feels him through presence. And now, perhaps the question that matters most arises quietly within you. If the body speaks with such honesty, how often have you mistaken its wisdom for inconvenience? Somehow, if you frequently experience facial itching, it's worth pausing not to panic, but to perceive. Each time it happens, it may not simply be your skin reacting, but your spirit responding. The body is an instrument finely tuned to emotional frequencies, and the face, being closest to our identity, reveals most of what the heart refuses to say. When you notice that familiar tingle, ask quietly within, what am I not acknowledging? What feeling is pressing against the surface, asking for air? Sometimes that small irritation is your soul knocking softly, asking for honesty. Psalm 139:14 says, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." You were created with a design so precise that even your smallest sensations can guide you towards spiritual clarity. The chosen ones don't dismiss such moments. They observe them with reverence, knowing the body never lies when the spirit is speaking through it. If you find this happening during stressful times, or while you're holding back words, emotions, or truth, it may not be random, it may be revelation. The chosen are deeply empathic. They can absorb energy from the world around them, and their bodies often mirror what others conceal. Sometimes that itch is not your energy but someone else's, brushing against your field, stirring your awareness. Have you ever noticed how being near certain people stirs discomfort in your body, as if your spirit recognizes what your mind has yet to understand? The body, in its wisdom, senses dishonesty before it's spoken and peace before it's promised. Proverbs 4:23 reminds us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guarding your heart means also guarding the vessel that carries it, your body. Learning to listen to these signals is a sacred practice. It's a way of translating heaven's language through the human experience. The more you pay attention, the more you'll realize how divinely orchestrated each message is. When your emotions and body are in conversation, it's not random, it's alignment. Each time you honor these cues, you draw closer to balance, closer to the quiet strength that the chosen are called to embody. Awareness, after all, is the first step toward mastery. Now that we've explored how the face speaks the language of emotion, we move to another region of divine communication, the neck and throat. These are sacred gates of truth, the passage through which spirit becomes sound. The throat connects what we feel to what we express, what we believe to what we declare. When there's an itch here, it's rarely physical alone. It's the vibration of withheld truth pressing to escape. Often, when a chosen one holds back from speaking their truth out of fear, peacekeeping, or self-doubt, the body begins to whisper through sensation. The throat tingles, the neck tightens, the skin stirs. The message is clear. What's unsaid is growing heavy. The neck, positioned between head and heart, acts as the bridge between intellect and emotion. When this area feels restless, it's often because those two forces are at odds. Your mind says one thing, your heart another. The chosen walk this path often, balancing compassion with conviction, silence with sincerity. But the throat, beloved, will always demand authenticity. It is the birthplace of declaration and prayer, the altar where thoughts become creation. Proverbs 18:21 teaches, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." When your throat itches or your voice cracks without cause, it may be your spirit reminding you of that power, calling you to use your voice in truth rather than silence in fear. Have you ever felt your throat tighten when you wanted to speak but didn't? Or sensed a flutter in your neck during prayer, as if something sacred was trying to rise through you? That's the divine urging expression, asking for release. The chosen ones carry messages within them, and when those messages are suppressed, the body becomes restless. It's not rebellion, it's resonance. Truth wants to live, and when it's trapped, it vibrates, seeking its way out through breath and sound. The neck also symbolizes flexibility and humility, the willingness to bow before divine order and to lift one's head when truth demands courage. When this area itches, it can signify resistance to surrender or an unspoken desire to return to alignment. Perhaps there's a conversation you've been avoiding, a prayer you've delayed, or a calling you've tried to silence. The neck reminds you, the time for restraint has passed. God is asking for voice, not perfection. Jeremiah 1-9 says, "Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth." To feel that stirring in your throat is to feel the divine rehearsing its next word through you. Sometimes the chosen experience this sensation right before spiritual breakthroughs or prophetic insight. The throat burns not with illness, but with anointing. It's the weight of a message before it becomes speech. I once heard of a singer who lost her voice for nearly a year, not from strain but from fear. She said every time she tried to sing about her faith, her throat itched, closed, and trembled. But when she finally surrendered, when she sang not to be heard, but to heal, her voice returned overnight. Her silence had never been punished. It was preparation. The body often pauses us before our next spiritual elevation. The itching, the tension, the sudden awareness, these are checkpoints of divine refinement. For the chosen, communication isn't just speaking words, it's transmitting light. Their voices are frequencies that shift atmospheres, so when your neck or throat begins to stir, pause and listen. What truth have you been delaying? What word is waiting to be spoken, not in anger, but in alignment? Because when the chosen one finally speaks, not from pride, but from purity, the vibration is not just heard in rooms, it echoes through realms. But sometimes, without realizing it, we become the ones silencing our own voice. The body feels this self-imposed restraint first. If the itching happens on the neck, it often mirrors the emotional weight you've been carrying from what remains unsaid. This part of the body, poised delicately between the heart and the mind, is the bridge of truth. It connects what you feel to what you speak. When the neck itches, tightens or stirs, it's not random, it's resonance. The energy of withheld expression begins to press upward, asking for release. Have you noticed how the throat feels heavier when you're pretending everything is fine, or when you keep replaying conversations that never happened? The body records every word you swallow. Psalm 32:3 says, "When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long." Silence is holy when it's chosen from peace, but destructive when it's born of fear. This sign often appears when you've been avoiding what's truly inside, when your truth has been living behind polite restraint or anxious diplomacy. Maybe there's something you long to say, but every time you try, your voice falters. The itching becomes a physical echo of the hesitation. The chosen ones experience this deeply because their words carry weight. Their speech is creative, prophetic, it shapes atmospheres. That's why the enemy of purpose often attacks through silence, doubt, or timidity. But the divine keeps whispering, "Speak." The vibration of your truth heals more than your silence ever could. Ephesians 4:15 reminds us, "Speak the truth in love, and we will grow to become, in every respect, the mature body of Him who is the head, that is, Christ." And yet, sometimes, the message hidden in the itch isn't only about communication, it's about perspective. The neck represents flexibility, not just physically, but spiritually. It's what allows you to turn your gaze, to see situations from another side. When it itches or stiffens, it can signal stubbornness or resistance to change. You might be clinging to an idea, a judgment, or a way of seeing the world that's keeping you from growth. Perhaps you're so sure you're right that your spirit has no room left to move. The itch then becomes a quiet question. Can you bend without breaking? Can you open your eyes to a truth that challenges what you've always believed? The chosen are often tested here, in the small movements of surrender. To bow the neck is to yield not to weakness, but to wisdom. A rigid spirit blocks revelation, but humility invites it. James 4:10 says, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up." The neck, when flexible, symbolizes willingness to follow divine redirection. When it itches, perhaps it's heaven asking for that small act of surrender, an invitation to soften your certainty and rediscover the grace of listening before speaking. Now, when the itching shifts to the throat, the message becomes even more direct. The throat is the sacred channel through which truth takes form. It's the bridge between the unseen and the spoken, between inspiration and creation. When this area stirs, it often means that something within you is desperate to be expressed. It's the spirit saying, "There's a word waiting to be born." Maybe you've been quiet too long, or perhaps you've been speaking too carefully, editing yourself to fit in, to avoid rejection, to keep the peace. But repression is not peace, it's postponement. Jeremiah 20:9 says, "His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in, indeed, I cannot." Metta, that's what happens to many chosen ones. Their throats burn or itch, not from illness, but from unspoken passion, unsung worship, or restrained authenticity. The vibration of truth wants to pass through, but fear keeps it trapped beneath the tongue. Have you ever felt your throat close during prayer, as if your words were too heavy to rise? That's not weakness, it's sacred tension. Your spirit is building pressure, preparing to release what needs to be said. The itch is the first spark of that divine combustion, the body's way of saying, "You can't hold this anymore." Many times, this sensation arrives right before a breakthrough. The chosen one might find themselves whispering the truth they've been hiding, or finally expressing what they've been afraid to admit. And in that moment, the throat clears, the skin calms, the body exhales. Because once truth is spoken, peace returns. The body doesn't crave perfection, it craves honesty. The divine never demanded flawless words, only authentic ones. There's a story of a man named Elias, a teacher who began to lose his voice during a period when he was suppressing his calling. He described feeling an unbearable itch in his throat whenever he tried to speak about his faith. For months, he avoided the pulpit, telling himself it was fatigue. But one night, in the stillness of his room, he finally said aloud, "God, I've been afraid of my own truth." The itching stopped that instant. The next morning, his voice returned, deeper and clearer than before. It wasn't a miracle of sound, it was a miracle of surrender. The chosen must remember, the voice is sacred territory. When you silence it, you silence more than words, you silence creation itself. Your throat is the gateway where heaven's message meets human breath. If it stirs, listen. If it itches, ask what truth is waiting to rise, because your words carry vibration, and vibration carries life. When you finally release what your soul has been storing, the energy that once caused tension becomes testimony. Perhaps this is what the body is trying to remind you, that expression is not rebellion, it's alignment. That your truth, spoken with love, heals more than silence ever could. And that even in moments of hesitation, the divine is patient, waiting for you to remember that your voice was never meant to hide, it was meant to heal. Or it can place you in a moment of deep vulnerability, the kind that exposes your true heart. Sometimes we hold our silence not because we lack words, but because we fear what those words might cause shame, judgment, or rejection. Other times, it's not fear of others, but a quiet disbelief in our own voice. For the chosen one, this is sacred territory, because your voice carries frequency. It doesn't just communicate, it creates. When the throat itches or the neck stirs, it is your soul trembling under the pressure of withheld truth. Ask yourself gently, is there something I'm leaving out? The body rarely lies. Its discomfort is not punishment, it's conversation. It's heaven speaking through flesh. Psalm 19:14 reminds us, "May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing to you, O Lord." The moment you stop speaking from fear and begin speaking from faith, your words stop wounding and start healing. This itch may also appear when you have spent too long minimizing your feelings, downplaying your insights, or letting others' opinions carry more weight than your intuition. The chosen one is often misunderstood, not because they lack clarity, but because they see ahead of time. Yet, their silence can become a burden, an emotional knot at the base of the throat. Energy, divine by nature, cannot be contained without consequence. When it stagnates, it aches. When it's ignored, it finds another way to surface. Perhaps this is why your body stirs, because your spirit is reminding you that freedom begins in expression. Sometimes this has nothing to do with the words you're speaking, but with the ones you aren't. The itch is not always about speech, it's about resonance. The throat reflects every word we've swallowed, every truth we've softened to make others comfortable. When you repress too much, your inner energy becomes like a river blocked by stones. It begins to push against its barriers, searching for release. That's why Proverbs 15:23 says, "A person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word." The right words, spoken at the right time, release stagnant energy and invite peace back into the body. Have you ever felt your throat tighten in a moment when you wished to defend yourself, but the words just wouldn't come? That paralysis isn't weakness, it's a warning. It's your body pleading for alignment. The chosen ones must understand, your voice was never given just for communication, it was given for creation. The vibration of your truth changes rooms, shifts atmospheres, and commands healing. But silence born of fear blocks that creative flow. This is why Isaiah 58:1 says, "Cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet." There are times when the Spirit demands sound, when the silence you keep is heavier than the noise you fear. If you find yourself in a season where standing up for your beliefs feels too costly, or expressing your emotions feels unsafe, that throat itch might be your soul's rebellion against self-censorship. You were never designed to live muted. The chosen ones carry divine frequency. Your voice carries light codes that release understanding into others' hearts. When you hold back your truth, you don't just silence yourself, you delay the healing of someone who needs to hear your words. The body remembers this delay. It protests through sensation, urging release. And remember, energy needs to circulate. This includes the energy of voice, honesty, and authenticity. Words are breath given purpose. When they're locked inside, they begin to press against the walls of your being. That's why the throat may itch, not because something external irritates it, but because your inner truth is pressing to be born. Like wind trapped in a flute, your unspoken truth hums restlessly until it's released as sound. Have you ever noticed that after finally saying what needed to be said, whether through a tearful confession or a quiet prayer, your whole body felt lighter? That's the energy of alignment returning home. The chosen understand that expression is not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet honesty in prayer. Sometimes it's creative through art, music, or writing. God gave you multiple languages to release truth. The throat's restlessness is simply a reminder to use one of them. John 8:32 declares, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." When your body reminds you to speak, it's not betraying you, it's guiding you back to freedom. Ignoring these signals can mean missing the sacred opportunity to heal what is emotionally suffocating you. The chosen one must learn to hear the conversation happening beneath the skin, the body, and the soul, speaking in code. What feels like discomfort may actually be direction. What feels like irritation may be an invitation. Your body is not fighting you, it's trying to free you. Now that we understand the power of itching in the neck and throat, the bridge between emotion and expression, let's journey deeper. There is another region of the body where meaning hides, another sacred place where heaven speaks through sensation. It's in the shoulders and arms, the places that carry, lift, and hold. The places where your strength and burdens meet. Be a sacred message wrapped in sensation. Between the shoulders lies the invisible crossroads of effort and expectation, the place where the chosen often bear what others cannot. When the itching appears there, it's not random, it's revelation. The body is whispering what the spirit already knows. You have been carrying too much for too long. This is the zone where emotional memory rests like sediment. Every disappointment, every burden, you swore you'd just handle. The upper back is not merely muscle and bone, it's the archive of endurance. Each twinge, each scratch, may be a reminder that not all burdens are yours to keep. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." When you ignore the ache of your own back, you risk missing heaven's invitation to release. For many chosen ones, this part of the body becomes a quiet altar of sacrifice. You've carried others' pain, absorbed their chaos, lifted more than your share, believing it was your duty. But sometimes compassion becomes captivity when you mistake self-neglect for service. The itching, persistent, restless, becomes a sign that your soul is ready to lay something down. Have you been trying to hold together what God has already asked you to let fall apart? Or maybe you've been climbing mountains that were never meant to be yours to ascend. The shoulders itch because they were designed for wings, not weight. The back also symbolizes our connection to the past. It's the side of us we cannot see, yet it follows everywhere. When it stirs, it's often the residue of old experiences calling for resolution. Perhaps there's a memory that was never fully grieved, a chapter left unfinished. Every time you suppress that sorrow, it presses deeper into muscle memory. Psalm 55:22 tells us, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you." But we often cast our prayers without releasing the weight. The itch on the back, especially between the shoulder blades, can be your spirit saying, "I'm ready to be sustained. I'm done carrying what should be surrendered." There's something profoundly symbolic about this part of the body. It's the only area you cannot reach without help. You can massage your arms, your legs, your chest, but not your upper back. This is heaven's poetic reminder that some healing cannot be done alone. The chosen are strong, yes, but even strength has limits. Your body may be asking you to trust others again, to allow support, to lean where you've only ever stood. The itch, then, is not irritation, it's invitation. For years, I spoke with people who described this same sensation as a spiritual restlessness. One woman named Clara once shared her story. After years of caring for her ill mother, she began experiencing constant itching between her shoulders. No doctor could explain it. One night in prayer, she felt a sudden warmth across her back and heard the words in her spirit, "You've carried enough." From that day forward, she began releasing small tasks, allowing others to help, forgiving herself for needing rest. Within weeks, the itching vanished. Her body had been crying out for balance, and once she answered, peace returned. Sometimes the body speaks louder than words. When your back itches, it may not be a physical irritation, but an energetic one, spiritual wings pressing against years of compressed duty. The chosen often confuse humility with heaviness. But humility doesn't mean carrying everything, it means knowing when to hand it back to God. The sensation might be your spiritual alignment shifting, your posture recalibrating to stand under divine instead of human weight. If the itching moves lower along the spine, it may touch deeper roots, the foundation of emotional security and belonging. The lower back connects to our sense of stability, often reflecting how safe we feel in the world. If it stirs there, perhaps life has felt uncertain, responsibilities endless, or the ground beneath you unsteady. The itch may be your soul's yearning to feel supported again, to trust that you are held even when you release control. Isaiah 46:4 promises, "Even to your old age and grey hairs I am He who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you." So, what happens when the chosen one finally decides to listen? When instead of scratching, you pause and breathe, the message unfolds, the weight begins to lift. You realize that what felt like tension was transformation, that your body was not betraying you, it was translating your spirit's exhaustion into language you could finally feel. The itch becomes a signal of release, the holy discomfort before restoration. Perhaps heaven is asking, what are you still carrying that no longer belongs to you? Whose expectations have become your prison? How long will you bear others' burdens while ignoring the cry of your own soul? The chosen must remember that strength is not in holding on, it's in letting go with faith. Your back was never meant to bow beneath endless pressure. It was meant to stand upright in grace, supported by the divine hands that created you. So, the next time you feel that inexplicable itch, the one that seems to come from nowhere, pause. Ask not only what irritates you, but what burdens you, because sometimes the back doesn't itch for relief. It itches for release. Psalm 3:3 reminds us, "But you, O Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, the one who lifts my head high." You were never meant to walk hunched beneath invisible weights. You were meant to rise, to stretch, to remember that freedom feels like breath in your bones. When the chosen one listens to the whispers beneath the skin, they learn that the body is not an obstacle on the spiritual path, it's a sacred messenger. And every sensation, even the smallest itch, is heaven's reminder. You were never meant to carry alone. Itching can indeed be the body's whisper before it becomes a cry, a quiet rebellion against the weight you've agreed to bear. The shoulders, sacred hinges between the heart and the hands, carry more than muscle. They carry memories, duty, and the invisible expectations of others. When they begin to itch, it is rarely just a matter of the skin. It is your soul signaling that you have taken on too much, that your spirit is sagging beneath loads that were never yours to lift. Sometimes the chosen ones confuse compassion with obligation, forgetting that love does not always mean carrying another's cross. Galatians 6:2 says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." But the verse doesn't mean self-erasure. To carry another's burden in love is not to break under it, it is to walk beside them until they can walk again. The shoulder, in spiritual symbolism, is a gate of responsibility. When it itches, it's heaven's way of asking, whose expectations have you mistaken for divine assignments? Have you been saying yes out of guilt instead of grace? Many chosen ones struggle with this boundary. They are the healers, the helpers, the quiet anchors holding others steady, but even anchors must surface for air. When you ignore the itch, when you keep saying, "I'll handle it," the body begins to protest, translating emotional overload into physical sensation. Imagine the shoulders as the earth itself, holding mountains of human history. How long can the soil bear the weight before it quakes? That subtle irritation across your back, the restless twinge that makes you shift your posture, might be the tremor before collapse or the call to realignment. The chosen one must learn that rest is not rebellion, it is sacred obedience. God himself rested on the seventh day. Exodus 33:14 reminds us, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Sometimes the divine whispers through discomfort, saying, "Lay it down, trust me with what you cannot fix." And yes, the back, the foundation of movement, the quiet keeper of our past, is where these stories linger. The back doesn't speak loudly, it remembers quietly. It holds the fingerprints of every burden we've ever carried, every hand we allowed to press against us in need. The upper back tends to store the griefs we never voiced, while the lower back often holds our unspoken fears about survival, finances, and security. Have you noticed how it flares when you feel unsupported or when life feels unstable? The back is the body's history book, chronicling the times you carried pain instead of processing it. Sometimes the itching that runs down your shoulders and spine is the residue of emotional memories beginning to release. It's as if your spirit is trying to scratch away old layers of responsibility, guilt, or regret that no longer serve your purpose. The chosen ones are especially sensitive to this because their energy fields are wider. They absorb more. But they must remember, empathy is not endurance. You can love people deeply without letting their storms live in your body. A woman named Sophia once shared her story. She was a nurse who prided herself on never taking a day off. Over years of caring for others, she began developing intense itching on her upper back and shoulders. At first, she thought it was stress, or maybe the hospital air. But during a moment of prayer, she heard a simple question within her spirit. "When was the last time you let me carry you?" That night, she wept and finally released her need to control every outcome. Within weeks, the itching faded, replaced by peace she hadn't felt in years. Her healing didn't come from medicine. It came from surrender. The body doesn't betray the chosen one. It translates divine instruction. When your shoulders itch, it's not just fatigue, it's guidance. It's the spirit saying, release the excess. Stop confusing endurance with purpose. The chosen must remember that strength isn't proven by how much you can hold, but by how willingly you can let go. Your purpose was never to be a pack mule for the world's pain. You are a vessel for light, and light cannot flow through what's overcrowded with burdens. The connection between your shoulders and your back is poetic. One speaks of the present weight, the other of the past. Together, they form the bridge between what you carry and what you've carried. When both begin to stir, it's a sacred sign that your spirit is ready for realignment. Have you been clinging to an old story, keeping the past alive by refusing to release its lessons? The itch is the divine asking, can you forgive what wounded you so deeply that you've built your posture around it. Isaiah 46:4 offers a promise to every weary soul. Even to your old age and grey hairs, I am he who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. You were not designed to carry indefinitely, you were designed to be carried. The back, the shoulders, the neck, these are not signs of weakness when they ache or itch. They are sacred alarm bells ringing softly beneath the skin, reminding you that surrender is strength, not failure. And as you begin to listen, you'll notice something miraculous. Once the chosen one lays down what's unnecessary, the energy begins to rise again. The same shoulders that trembled under pressure begin to open like wings. The same back that once bowed under burdens begins to straighten in grace. Your body, once weighed down by duty, becomes a temple of freedom again. Matthew 11:30 reminds us, "For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." So the next time that subtle itching creeps across your shoulders or back, don't rush to scratch it away. Pause, breathe, ask what your spirit is trying to say. Because maybe, just maybe, your body isn't irritated, it's interceding. It's telling you that it's time to rest, to delegate, to forgive, to release. The chosen one's journey is not measured by how much they can carry, but by how deeply they can trust. And in that trust, in that letting go, they remember they were never meant to shoulder the world. They were meant to shine within it. The belly, it is more than flesh and function. It is the sacred hearth where intuition burns, where emotions are first felt before words can form. An itchy back may whisper of the past you haven't fully laid to rest, but when the itch moves to the belly, it speaks of the present battle between instinct and reason, between suppression and surrender. This is your body's ancient language, its way of saying, listen, something deep within seeks release. The abdomen, that soft center so often hidden or ignored, holds the echoes of every fear you've swallowed and every truth you've silenced. Proverbs 20:27 reminds us, "The spirit of man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all his innermost parts." When that lamp flickers, your body may begin to stir, urging you to look within rather than around. This region, warm, alive, vulnerable, is the seat of your intuition. The chosen one learns that before the mind decides, the belly already knows. It tightens when you're in danger, flutters when truth draws near, and now, through an itch, it may be begging you to trust what logic has dismissed. Have you noticed how your stomach clenches when something feels off, even when your mind tries to rationalize it away? This is not weakness, it's divine intelligence woven into your being. Your gut is the altar of discernment, the compass God placed within you when he whispered, "Be still and know." Oh, when itching arises in the upper abdomen, near the stomach, it can reveal more than mere anxiety. It can signify an emotional indigestion, an inability to digest what life has served. Perhaps you've been swallowing too much criticism, expectation, disappointment, and your body has grown weary of processing what your soul rejects. The chosen ones are often empathic. They take in the pain of others unconsciously, and their bodies become vessels of unspoken energy. The stomach reacts not only to food but to emotion, and what you've been forced to stomach may now be surfacing for release. Psalm 34:18 tells us, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." The discomfort you feel is not punishment, it is the Spirit drawing near to heal the places where heaviness has settled. Sometimes, the itch in the belly appears when there's a conflict between desire and discipline, between what you long for and what you think you deserve. The chosen ones often battle guilt for wanting more, for seeking joy, abundance, or love after seasons of restraint. The body, ever honest, reminds you through sensation that suppression is not holiness. Holiness is harmony, not denial. Could it be that the itch in your belly is the trembling of a dream trying to be born, the stirring of divine hunger that your spirit refuses to keep starving? The belly is also tied to creation and trust, where new life begins, where new ideas gestate, where faith grows in silence. When it stirs, it's as if your spiritual womb is speaking. You might be resisting change, holding too tightly to what's familiar, fearing what's next. But energy that's meant to flow cannot remain contained. The body knows this. That restless itch is your reminder that growth requires expansion, and expansion often begins as discomfort. The chosen must ask themselves, am I clinging to old security instead of opening to divine provision? Am I resisting transformation because it feels too unfamiliar? The lower belly, in particular, is a place of emotional truth. It houses your sense of belonging and your connection to the physical world. When itching arises there, it can symbolize a need to ground yourself again, to return to simplicity, to what nourishes you. Many spiritual teachers say that unresolved fear of survival or lack often manifests here. If you've been worrying about stability, money, home, purpose, your body may be mirroring that energetic imbalance. Yet, even here, the divine offers assurance. Matthew 6:26 reminds us, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them." A young musician once shared his story. He said he'd been struggling with deep anxiety, often feeling an unexplainable itch around his stomach whenever he performed. No medical reason could be found. One night, during prayer, he realized it wasn't fear of failure, it was resistance to being seen. His body was reacting to the tension between his divine calling and his self-doubt. Once he began embracing his purpose rather than hiding it, the physical sensation disappeared. His body had been echoing his soul's plea. Stop shrinking, you were meant to shine. The belly, then, is not merely physical, it is prophetic. It warns you when you're out of alignment, when your emotions are buried too deep, or when your intuition is being ignored. When you feel that itch, it's not just your skin responding, it's your spirit awakening. It's the divine stirring your inner waters, like the river that refuses to stay still. Can you feel how your inner tides rise when something true is near? Can you sense how your gut tightens not from fear, but from anticipation of revelation? John 7:38 says, "Whoever believes in me, as Scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them." When your belly stirs, it may be those rivers preparing to move again, washing away stagnation, flushing out residue, making room for light. The chosen one must learn to listen to these inner waves. They are not random, they are rhythmic, divine, alive. The next time your belly itches, pause before reacting. Breathe into it. Ask not, "What's wrong with me?" but, "What truth is rising within me?" Your body is never your enemy. It is the first prophet of your soul. Every pulse, every flicker, every subtle sensation is a sacred language, teaching you to listen, to trust, to release. Because beneath that itch lies movement, spiritual, emotional, divine. And the chosen one who dares to listen discovers that even the smallest signal from the body can carry the voice of heaven saying, "You are healing, you are aligning, you are remembering who you are." Whether it's an uncomfortable situation, a complicated relationship, or a feeling of emotional overload, the stomach speaks when words fail. It becomes the translator of your inner turbulence. When the itch arises here, it's not merely a physical reaction, but a sacred signal that your emotions are being processed through the body, seeking release. It's as though your spirit is whispering, "You've digested enough pain, it's time to exhale it." The chosen one learns to see this not as irritation, but as illumination. The stomach, the fiery forge of transformation, burns with both fear and faith. It teaches that what you cannot confront in thought will surface in sensation. Proverbs 4:23 reminds us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." When that flow is obstructed by suppressed emotion or unspoken truth, the body becomes the messenger that cannot be ignored. The lower abdomen, that intimate temple of creation and passion, is the cradle of both life and longing. It holds the sacred spark, the raw creative energy that shapes dreams, births, visions, and sustains vitality. When this region begins to itch, it's not random. It's a whisper from the depths, urging you to reclaim your own life force. Have you noticed how easily creativity dims when fear, guilt, or shame take root? How quickly desire turns silent when your spirit has been told to quiet its hunger? The lower belly itches, not because something is wrong, but because something inside you longs to move again. This is the region of divine creation, the same energy from which galaxies were born and songs were sung into existence. For many chosen ones, this part of the body becomes a spiritual alarm bell, a sign that their connection to passion, purpose, or self-expression has dulled. The body begins to call them home, saying, "Remember the fire that made you." This energy, sacred and sensual, has been misunderstood for centuries, often suppressed by fear of judgment or control. But within the chosen, creativity is not a luxury, it's oxygen. Without it, the soul suffocates. Psalm 139 to 13:14 declares, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearful and wonderfully made." To reconnect with this inner source is not indulgence, it's worship. Perhaps you've been living too long in survival mode, giving to others while starving your own spirit. The lower abdomen begins to stir, to itch, to signal that this self-neglect cannot continue. It's the divine knocking from within, saying, "I need your attention now." A chosen one cannot ignore this message, for the body is part of the covenant. Your physical form is not separate from your calling. It's the vessel that carries the light. When you care for it, you honor God's design. When you listen to its whispers, you honor your truth. There's a story of a woman named Elise, a painter, who once told me that every time she ignored her creative urges for too long, her lower abdomen would begin to itch and tighten. She visited doctors, changed her diet, adjusted her routine, but nothing relieved it until one night, sitting before an untouched canvas, she wept. She realized her body wasn't sick, it was starving for creation. The next day she painted for hours. By evening, the itch was gone. Her body had been speaking her spirit's language all along. The lower belly, known in many traditions as the sacral center, governs both pleasure and purpose. When this energy is blocked, you may feel uninspired, emotionally numb, or detached from joy. The itch might be the body's cry for reconnection to movement, to beauty, to the simple act of feeling alive again. Have you noticed how the world dulls its color when you stop creating? How your energy feels heavier when you neglect your inner world? The chosen ones are often conduits for divine expression, and when that current is obstructed, the whole being feels it. At its core, the stomach and lower abdomen represent trust. Trust in yourself, in divine timing, in the flow of life. When anxiety knots this area, it's often because faith is faltering and control is trying to take over. Yet, God's design was never for you to control everything, but to flow with divine rhythm. John 7:38 says, "Whoever believes in me, as Scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them." Those rivers run through your belly, through the same place where discomfort now arises. That itching, that stirring, could be your inner river trying to move again after being dammed by fear or fatigue. There's a sacred lesson here. When the chosen one begins to feel restless in the body, it's not punishment, it's preparation. The sensation reminds you to breathe, to forgive, to create, to move. The stomach holds the energy of transformation, and every twitch or itch is a sign that something within is evolving, digesting old pain to make room for divine clarity. Sometimes, it's not that your body is irritated, but that your soul is in labor. You're birthing a new layer of yourself, and like any birth, it begins with tension, pressure, and the undeniable urge to push through. You can resist the process or trust it. You can scratch at the surface or listen for the message beneath. Isaiah 43:19 proclaims, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" Perhaps the itch is not a discomfort to be fixed, but an awakening to be honored. Maybe the divine is preparing you to step into a new season of creativity, to express the truth you've silenced, to let your inner rivers run wild again. So, the next time your belly itches, pause before reacting. Place a hand there. Breathe slowly and say, "What are you trying to tell me?" You may find that your body is not betraying you, it's blessing you. It's saying, you are still alive, still connected, still being shaped into something beautiful. For the chosen ones, every sensation is sacred, every stirring a sign of alignment. The itch is not a flaw, it's a flame. It burns only to awaken what's divine within you. And when you listen, truly listen, you'll hear it whisper, the most ancient truth of all. You were made to feel, to create, to live fully in the miracle of being. The legs, the pillars that carry your journey, are not merely bones and muscles. They are sacred messengers of direction, courage, and divine momentum. They remind the chosen ones that every step, whether hesitant or bold, is part of the path written before their birth. When itching stirs across your thighs, knees, or feet, it's not random, it's a divine nudge, a whisper from within saying, something in your movement needs realignment. You are being asked to listen to the language of motion, to discern where resistance has taken root in your walk of purpose. Psalm 37:23 declares, "The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in their way." But sometimes those steps pause, not because God has stopped leading, but because fear, fatigue, or doubt have tied invisible weights around your ankles. The thighs, strong and close to the body's core, symbolize the seat of will and action. When itching arises here, it may be a sign that your desire to move forward is wrestling with hesitation. The spirit longs to leap, but the mind hesitates at the edge. Could it be that you've been standing too long at a crossroad, waiting for certainty where faith is required? The body often speaks before the soul can articulate its restlessness. The thighs begin to itch, urging you toward movement, reminding you that progress doesn't wait for perfection, it begins with one brave step. Joshua 1-9 whispers encouragement. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. For the chosen one, this restlessness in the legs is often spiritual, a stirring that signals transition. You may feel it when a season is closing, when destiny is shifting you from the known to the unknown. The body becomes the barometer of divine timing, and that tingling urge to move is not anxiety, it's activation. But hesitation, when prolonged, becomes spiritual friction, and the itch is the friction made visible. It's heaven asking, what are you still holding on to that no longer carries life? What fears have kept you standing still at the edge of your calling? The thighs also hold the power of creation and desire the physical extension of passion and purpose. When energy stagnates here, it's often a sign that the chosen one has suppressed too much. Ideas not acted upon, love not expressed, purpose not pursued. The itch may be a spiritual signal that your inner fire has been sitting in silence for too long. Creation longs to move through you again. Have you forgotten the thrill of pursuit, the joy of risk, the sacred dance of becoming? Your thighs are asking you to remember that life is not lived in theory, it's lived in movement. When the sensation reaches the knees, its meaning deepens. The knees, symbols of humility and surrender, remind you of balance, the ability to bend without breaking, to yield without losing strength. Itching here may mean you've resisted a necessary bowing, an act of trust that you've postponed out of pride or fear. Perhaps you've been pushing when you were meant to pause, clinging when you were meant to release. Philippians 2:10 says, "At the name of Jesus every knee shall bow." But bowing is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's how the chosen realign with divine rhythm. When the knees itch, the question emerges, where have I refused to yield? Where has my rigidity blocked the blessings waiting to flow through surrender? A story once shared by an elderly sculptor captures this truth perfectly. After years of resisting change, his knees began to ache and itch constantly. He said it felt as though his body was begging him to stop forcing control over everything. One day, during prayer, he finally whispered, "Not my way, but yours." That night, the itching ceased. The next morning, he received an unexpected opportunity that redirected his entire career. His body had not been punishing him, it had been preparing him for release. And then there are the feet, the foundation, the sacred connection between your spirit and the earth. Itching in the feet or ankles often symbolizes restlessness of the soul, the urge to move forward, or the anxiety of being stuck in place. When your feet begin to stir, it could be heaven's way of saying, "You've stayed too long in this chapter." The chosen ones are wanderers of light. Their journey is not one of comfort, but of calling. Yet, when fear or comfort roots too deeply, the feet grow uneasy. That itching becomes a summons: move, travel, explore, act. Isaiah 52:7 proclaims, "How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Movement is holy, progress is praise." Still, the feet also remind you of grounding. Sometimes, the itching is not urging you to move, but to return, to reconnect with the earth, to remember the balance between motion and stillness. The chosen must learn when to run and when to rest. Have you noticed how your feet tingle when you stand barefoot on the ground, when you let the world's energy meet your own? The body and the earth speak the same language of renewal. When the soul forgets this connection, the feet begin to call you back home, to grounding, to presence, to peace. Every chosen one faces moments when the legs grow weary, when movement feels impossible, but even then, the body whispers, "You're still meant to walk." The itch is not an annoyance, it's awakening. It's the vibration of destiny waiting for your agreement. The legs are your covenant with movement, they carry you where faith leads. A chosen one's journey is never meant to be motionless. It's a pilgrimage of trust, and every tremor, every tingle, every strange stirring is part of the dialogue between heaven and your body. There's a deeper reflection hidden here too. What if your hesitation isn't failure, but divine timing? What if the reason your legs itch is not because you've stopped, but because heaven is urging you to prepare for the next stride? Every delay carries a lesson in patience. Every step withheld teaches discernment. For the chosen, even stillness is sacred when it's surrendered. So, when your legs, knees, or feet begin to speak, listen before you react. Sit in silence and ask, "Am I afraid to move forward, or am I afraid to let go?" The answer will come quietly, through peace or continued restlessness. The body never lies. It echoes the truth of your soul. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." When you align your movement with divine order, the itching will cease, not because the body has quieted, but because the soul has understood. The next time your legs stir or your feet itch, know this: heaven is speaking through motion. You are being reminded that you were born to move, to walk the unseen path, to step into the next version of yourself, to trust that every stride brings you closer to divine fulfillment. Because for the chosen ones, every journey begins not with a command, but with a whisper in the body saying, "It's time." As we reach the end of this journey, remember every signal, every sensation, every mysterious itch was never random. It was your body's sacred language, whispering truths that your mind might have been too busy to hear. The chosen ones are never left without guidance. Sometimes that guidance doesn't come as a voice in the wind or a sign in the sky. It comes from within, from the vessel that carries your spirit through this world. Your body is not your enemy. It is your interpreter, your teacher, and your most loyal companion on the path of awakening. Perhaps, as you listen to this message, something inside you stirred. Maybe you remembered moments when your own body tried to speak through fatigue, through tension, through those tiny, unexplained sensations that seem to appear from nowhere. What if they were never just physical? What if they were divine echoes asking, "Are you listening now?" 1 Corinthians 6:19 reminds us, Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? This means your body is not just matter, it's a living altar designed to host the divine. Every cell vibrates with memory, every heartbeat carries revelation. When you begin to honor that connection, you no longer fight your body, you begin to flow with it. You become fluent in the language of your own spirit. You, the chosen one, are being invited to slow down, to breathe, and to listen again, to pay attention to what your body is trying to reveal about your spirit. Maybe the itching on your skin isn't an irritation, but an invitation. Maybe the ache in your chest isn't weakness, but awakening. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness doesn't mean silence, it means awareness. It means pausing long enough to let truth rise from within. Your body is a map drawn by the divine, and every discomfort is a point on that map, leading you back to alignment. When your legs itch, maybe heaven is asking you to move. When your throat tightens, maybe it's time to speak your truth. When your stomach stirs, perhaps it's a reminder that something is waiting to be released. Healing doesn't always come from outside. Sometimes it begins when you finally listen inwardly. As you step back into your daily life, carry this understanding with you. Don't rush to silence your body's messages with distraction. Instead, honor them. Ask, what truth are you trying to show me? The answers will not always come as words, but they will always come. Proverbs 3:6 tells us, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." Acknowledge him, not only in prayer or worship, but in every breath, every heartbeat, every physical sensation that reminds you you are alive, chosen, and guided. Before we close, I want to thank you deeply for being part of this sacred conversation. Whether you supported this message through a like, a comment, a share, or simply by staying until the end, you've already given more than enough. Your presence here matters. Your journey matters. You are seen, loved, and held by something greater than circumstance. If this message spoke to your soul, I invite you to stay connected with this community. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share your reflections below. Have you ever experienced your body speaking to you in subtle ways? How did it change your perspective? Your story could be the key that helps someone else unlock their healing. And to those who have supported through super thanks or simply through heartfelt prayer, thank you. Every act of kindness and resonance is part of the light that keeps this work alive. Together, we're building more than an audience. We're building a sanctuary of souls, walking each other home. As you leave this space, may peace find you where confusion once lived. May your body rest in divine balance. May your spirit be calm enough to hear the whispers that guide you toward truth. And may you never again mistake your body's voice for mere noise. It is the language of heaven, written beneath your skin. Until we meet again, walk gently, listen deeply, and remember, every sensation is sacred, and every heartbeat is proof you are chosen. May grace cover you, may light surround you, and may your soul always know its way home. Amen.